And welcome to the Media Speaks Live Saturday morning news show. I'm DLAKE for Prez, David Lake. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm joined this morning by Kyle Phillips. KP, how's it going?
What's up, DLAKE? It's going awesome. I'm broadcasting here from some sort of Ruby Ridge type bunker, as you can see, wearing a camo hat and an American flag behind me.
Seems a little extreme right wing, but we'll get to that. And broadcasting live from Kenya, we are also joined by Anthony Kort. Anthony, how's it going?
Very good. Thanks for having me on the show. There's a lot going on in Kenya today. We got the president visiting here today. Regarding, and he's already given praise, or, a moment of silence about the Nairobi embassy bombing. So a lot going on here in Kenya. He's visiting some family members, having dinner with them currently, as far as I know.
And they're welcoming him home to Kenya, and that's going big in the news. You know what's going pretty big right now in the news is Trump is in Iowa. It's our first top headline today, and I heard a little chuckle there from Kyle. Kyle, I'm going to go to screen share here. You can see Trump talking live as we are live. So this is a double live simultaneous thing as I live broadcast Trump streaming live. So that's kind of cool. You can't hear it, but you can see there with his flashy tie and his outfit and a big crowd behind him. He's got a massive crowd there in Iowa. Of course, we're all familiar with Iowa as, like, the very first important state when it comes to the 2016 election. Kyle, what was that little about?
So are you officially coming out as a Trump supporter now?
Coming out. I'm not in the closet with it. I've been posting, links and stuff, and I've been watching him in his fullness and entirety when he does interviews. I don't just get spoon-fed the media trying to tell me he said this, that, and some other thing. When they misedit it, they chop it all up, they hamstring it all together. Watch his full statements. Listen to his full rhetoric. Listen to what he was really talking about.
You're gonna vote for Trump just because he's the
Look,
only
I'm not
candidate
Dennis
you've
Rodman,
met?
but I'll go on Twitter right now and tweet. I think he's a great businessman that we need for the country, and not a politician. And it's big news that Dennis Rodman supports Donald Trump.
Will you sing him a very awkward happy birthday, like you did Kim Jong-un?
That's kind of like on the same level as being like, well, Charlie Manson supports my candidate, so he's a psychopathic genius. So,
dude, on Twitter, it's just like, hey, I'm Dennis Rodman. I think Trump would be good. He's a good friend of mine, and I like him, and he's what we need. And then Trump's all, thank you very much, Dennis Rodman. I hope everything's going good with you. So it's just a cordial tweet exchange, and people are getting their panties in a bunch. They're like, oh, Charles Manson. He's a 5-time NBA All-Star, man. Come on.
Donald Trump came over to Dennis Rodman's house with some of that good weed. You know what I'm talking about. And got
Donald Trump doesn't smoke weed.
He got him way too high, and he's like, come on, just tweet this out, Dennis. Do it for me. It's not a big deal.
Donald Trump is against. Donald Trump doesn't smoke. Donald Trump doesn't do drugs. He doesn't drink, and he doesn't smoke. And he preaches to his kids not to do that either. It's a Protestant Presbyterian. Went to a Presbyterian church. I went to a Presbyterian church. Methodist church.
Strong endorsement for DLAKE for Prez. If you don't win the nomination, DLAKE for Prez for presidency, are you going to endorse Donald Trump?
Well, I could win. Trump already said the other day that being vice president is not for him. I would take the vice presidency in a Trump presidential administration. Sure.
Yeah, you know what, though? I think this comes at a curious time. Look at, we had Ted Cruz criticizing Mitch McConnell today, calling him a flat-out liar. But really, it comes at a time where there's a lot of people that are anti-establishment. It really divides those who are anti-establishment. Whether or not that's a goal of Trump running right now at this time, it's to be further researched, or is
Yeah, you're bringing up great points there. Kort, if you could just continue on that line of thinking real quick, I have an article I want to bring up.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and bring that up. But, there's been a lot of anti-establishment candidates. Some on the Republican ticket. I mean, if you would consider that. I mean, we got
some on the Democrats too. Dennis Kucinich,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kucinich, though. I mean, when we got the socialist Bernie Sanders, also, as you said, is the most popular person at Sticker Junkie there, and what everybody's buying.
He is, and yeah, just this past week we made some even more. And here's a great, excellent article that goes to a lot of what you're saying, a lot of what I'm saying. I mean, I think we can all agree on a lot of this stuff. It's from the Washington Free Beacon, Revenge of the Radical Middle. And it talks about Reagan Democrats and Ross Perot running, and now Donald Trump, and it's the radical middle that's attracted to populists, outsiders, businessmen such as Perot and Lee Iacocca, who have never held office, and anyone, according to Newsweek, who is the tribune of anti-insider discontent. Exactly what Kort was saying.
Like, are you guys finding this? Because I would consider myself more of a far, I don't know what direction you would put me, but I'd consider myself a fringe libertarian in a lot of ways. I'm accepting of the fact that I'm on the far end of one ideology in a lot of my thinking, but I find myself more and more finding these hardcore lefty people and hardcore old school Republican people and stuff agreeing with me and finding a lot of common ground where it's all right, well, none of us want Hillary or Bush. We can all fucking agree on that right now.
And
you bring up Ross Perot, and more people are willing to have the Ross Perot conversation than and go back and watch those old debates with him, Bill Clinton, and George Bush. And it's just interesting, but I worry that going in the Donald Trump direction is almost kind of allowing the media to come in and be your savior. It kind of reminds me of the Hunger Games. The underlying point of the Hunger Games, what I got out of it, seriously, it was that people will only follow a celebrity. Real political leaders and real change don't work. You just give them a celebrity to tell them they're getting the change that they wanted, and they'll accept it. And with somebody like Donald Trump, how is he going to pick his VP? Will your sister possibly be on the vice presidential apprentice?
What about Dennis Rodman?
They should have that. They should have celebrity VP apprentice for sure. And what the radical middle, formerly known as the silent majority, and these are the people that we're talking about here, Kyle. And what Republicans are trying to figure out is not so much how to handle Trump as how to handle his supporters. Ignore or confront. Mock me or treat me seriously. Insult or persuade me. The men and women in the uppermost ranks of the party have stood by Trump in the past as he gave them endorsements and cash, are inclined to condescend to a large portion of the Republican base, to treat base voters' concerns as unserious, nativist, racist, sexist, anachronistic, or nuts, or apologize for the crazies. Thanks, John McCain, who failed to understand why America can build small cities in Iraq and Afghanistan, but not a wall along the southern border. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, it is interesting to see with a lot of these candidates how the media doesn't know how to respond to them. They're do we take Donald Trump seriously as a candidate? And there's an inherent part of you, let's be honest, that immediately just goes no. Anybody who's ever at a TV show, no way can we. But Ronald Reagan was a fucking movie star and he got elected. I'm not saying good or bad, but that's a part of our history, so it is something that can happen. It has happened before, and I don't know, my big thing is I like the fact that, and this is the big issue with me, I like that he is so fucking rich that he's not going to be dependent on anybody else for money, and he's not going to be able to be coerced by money because he doesn't need it. But the other part of me is why do you still work if you have that much money, and why are you even running for president? You don't need to do anything. You have so much fucking money. Do you have other motivations, which is even more fucking money? I don't know. There's something about somebody with that much money that I don't trust too.
because he wants to make America great again. Today he is in Iowa at the Make America Great Again rally and picnic. When he was in Arizona, he had a crowd of about 15,000 people this early in the race. A lot of people say if you surge this early in the race, it's not really good for you. A lot of the news media, because he is so rich, he's a billionaire, worth about $10 billion. They say, you have the power to run third-party candidate. No one's asked Ted Cruz or Rand Paul. They asked his dad, Ron Paul, would you run third-party, like maybe libertarian? But with Trump, it's like, will you run independent? They're worried about a fraction or a split. The news media is, and all the RNC and the DNC and all that stuff. And
when you think about it, it's really dumb for them to be bringing that up, because if the Republican Party was ever at a time where it could split, like I heard somebody the other day call into Mark Levin and start talking about splitting off and possibly going to the Libertarian or the Constitutionalist Party, and these talk show hosts are having to like defend the party that they're at the same time like bashing a lot of the time, like don't leave, that'll be worse, which in a way it will be worse in the short term for sure. Because then you'll have one party with no real opposition. But in the long term, I think it's good.
What are you thinking, Kort? Oh, wait a second. What is Donald Trump holding up right here? He's holding up a big, giant stack of papers.
He's Alex Jonesing.
Is he joking?
Hold on. Let me hear. It's one day of letters over the past 2 weeks. He opened up a hotline for veterans, and
damn, that's
he opened up a hotline for veterans that are experiencing problems with the VA. And in 2 weeks, those were all the letters that he received. That giant stack of paper, if you were able to see it on my screen share, big stack of papers, guys.
I really hate to burst your bubble on the whole Trump thing, but we got we vehemently supported, like Ron Paul, calling him dangerous and almost
libertarian,
more authoritarian, I would say.
Ron Paul recently called Trump dangerous. Look it up. Hey, guys, can you hear me?
We can. Your audio just changed. That was weird.
You didn't like that point?
Oh, Kort just disappeared. But no, I didn't know that Ron Paul said that.
Yeah, he said Donald Trump was dangerous. And I'm like, wait, Ron Paul was the one being called dangerous back when he was running. But see, my thing is, I don't know how weird this is. I have to find out how many more people are like me. Please leave in your comments below if you're like me, and you can go look at my channel. I was in full, strong, heavy, start my own show called Ron Paul Wins, support of Ron Paul in 2012. Okay? And I supported him in 2008, but 2012 was his big, major thing. And now I'm backing Donald Trump. Are there any more people like me that were fully in? And when I say like me, let me get this straight. I don't just get spoon-fed what MSNBC or Fox News or these newspapers like New York Times or the Washington Post or the Huffington Post that wants to put him in the entertainment section with Kim Kardashian. Fuck you, HuffPo. Go to hell. Anyways, basically I'm attacking the way that the mainstream media has been covering Trump in a lot of regards. They don't get the full story straight. Donald Trump said that the Democratic nominee will most likely be Hillary Clinton. He feels he's the only one that could beat her. It would be stupid for him to run third party because he wants to win as a Republican. And yes, he has formerly been a Democrat, and he was an independent, and he was registered Republican. So people say, oh, he's a born-again Republican, oh, he's a flip-flopper. That's not flip-flopping. Ronald Reagan did the same thing. Ron Paul has done the same thing. Ron Paul ran Libertarian, and then he ran Republican because these guys know that you have to run Republican to get anywhere.
Johnson did it. He ran Republican.
Yeah, and then he had major support when he switched over to Libertarian. If Jesse Ventura would just get past the Demo Crips and Republicans and actually try to run Republican, he might get somewhere. I mean, maybe 4 years ago, but, I mean, the point is still there. I mean, I like these guys and a lot of stuff they say. And, I mean, Donald Trump's a billionaire.
I have this theory. You know what I think is going to happen? And it won't be this election. It'll probably be next election. But I think some social media fucking genius is gonna really, in the least, scare the establishment by getting a large percentage of the vote with no money. There's people out there who can do it already, man. Like, there's people who know how to get millions of clicks on YouTube and millions of likes and favorites on Facebook and Twitter just by posting like themselves. Like, one of these people, like Zay Frank or fucking Rhett and Link, like somebody like that, I got a feeling, probably not Rhett and Link or Zay Frank, but somebody like that is gonna figure out and decide to do it, and it's gonna be a Ross Perot moment for sure.
But are there clicks presidential? Would you say? I mean, Obama roasts Donald Trump's Celebrity Apprentice, you know, back however many years ago, 2011, when he came out with the birth certificate and stuff. I mean, those guys have been at loggerheads for a while now. Kort, I'm glad that you're back because I was kind of ready to shift gears. Are you there, Anthony? Okay.
He got sucked in by
hear you
the
if you're on mute. He's trying. He's logging out, logging back in. Kyle, do you have any final words on the Trump being in Iowa today headline?
I don't know. I'm kind of with Kort, where it's like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's not interesting as fuck to like watch Donald Trump run for president and like really run for president, because he ran for president before, but it was like a month-long like publicity.
He never did. He never did. He never officially ran. You have to do a bunch of stuff to actually run. He didn't
really run.
He was doing like you said. He made some YouTube videos of himself talking about how he was considering it, and I liked all the points he was making back then. And I'm like, it would be interesting. So when he finally, you know, he threw his hat in the ring, I think it's interesting. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, here comes the clown car. But I was like, I don't know. I'm going to take this, you know, semi-seriously with a grain of salt.
Did I make a video back then, like, supporting something of his? I think I did. That was a long-ass time ago. I did. I remember. I green screened it because he did that video from his office. I don't even remember what it was about.
Yeah. Did you wear a Trump wig?
I think I did my hair a little Trumpish. I think so.
Trumpy.
I think I might have wore a Trump wig. Maybe.
Yeah,
but
you have pretty good hair, mostly when it grows long. I mean, you could probably comb it in some kind of weird Trump way if you let it grow long enough.
Don't look it up. I bet I can find it. But I don't know. I think if you saw somebody, and again, another example of somebody who would never do it, but if like somebody like Joe Rogan,
I saw Donald Trump in person. He's taller than me. He's almost your height, Kyle. He's like 6'5", probably, or 6'6". And his hair doesn't look that bad when you're like standing right in front of him. I don't know. Maybe that's.
It wasn't out of place.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're so slow right now.
It all depends on the lighting. I was really waiting for Kort to come back. I wanted to shift gears to the House passes the DARK Act, banning states from requiring GMO labels on food.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, legislation dubbed the Deny Americans the Right to Know, or DARK Act. Deny Americans the Right to Know. Kyle, I thought knowing was half the battle.
Yeah, and even like there's even GMO supporters. Bill Nye the science guy. Mm-hmm. He's somebody who believes that GMOs are safe. He's gone into like Monsanto places and like seen their research and worked with them a lot because he originally was against GMOs, changed his mind after really diving into it. But he still says, he's like, labeling is a good idea. And he said to like the board members at Monsanto, like, you should come out in favor of pro-GMO labeling. Like, if you believe in your product and you really think it's safe, then take pride in it. And so even pro-GMO people, a lot of them are like, it's not, less information is never a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to help you, but you got to tell me more. Some people might get that if you just recently watched the season finale of Wayward Pines. Just label it. The DARK Act vote shows House members, food companies oppose transparency. Oh, from the most transparent administration ever? They're opposing transparency? The DARK Act. Vote shows House members, food companies oppose transparency. As a longtime food executive, I find it hard to believe that smart companies like PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, General Mills, Kellogg's, and Campbell's are willing to risk their reputations to avoid putting a couple of additional words in their ingredient panels, says Gary Hirschberg. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just can't
come
believe
on.
that.
Just put it on the damn label, right? Let us know. We want to know. We have a right to know.
And I do support, there's like the GMO free project or whatever, and there's like some things that have that, like the certification on them. And when I see that certification, I do buy those products. I buy things that are GMO free certified, because to me it shows transparency. However you feel about GMOs, it shows transparency with the company who makes that product, that they're willing to show what's in their stuff. They're willing to put that on there because they know that it's nothing anybody's going to have an issue with.
Kort, excellent. You're back. Kort, can we hear from you? We're talking now about the DARK Act. A link you actually sent me this morning that I know you want to get into, Kort. Can you address the DARK Act?
Am I coming through okay, guys?
You're doing good. Go for it.
Okay, well, we went from Trump, and now we're discussing the DARK Act.
Yeah, well, you weren't here, so you missed it. But now we shifted gears while you were gone. Go ahead.
Oh, which is fine. But I think this just shows the mentality and the power that these companies have, these biotech companies have, when states utilize the right to pass a law mandating the right to know what's in your food, whether you're supportive of GMOs or not. I mean, that's infringing on states' rights already. Also, the link I shared on our Facebook, the MediaSpeaks.com Facebook, just you could find just searching the Media Speaks on Facebook, shows a list of which representatives voted yay and nay. You have Representative Justin Amash voting no, actually, against it. So that's good. I mean, you got certain. It was pretty evenly split across the board. Republicans and Democrats voting yes or no. And actually, certain representatives from Central California, which which have a lot of ties to agriculture, voted in favor of that, which didn't surprise me whatsoever. And even if Prop 37 were to pass, when it was going through, these types of things happen that threaten state sovereignty, and then deciding what the people want. People want to know what they're eating.
Even if you are pro GMO, like Kyle was saying, like there are some people that are pro, scientific. Was it Bill Nye?
Yeah, Bill Nye the Science Guy is pro GMO, but also pro labeling.
And how do you feel about that, Kort?
Yeah, and that's far and few between, though. I mean, he was originally against GMO. We have former GMO scientists.
Until Monsanto got to him, or what?
Well, possibly. I don't have any proof I could cite immediately to say that. It's very possible, but I won't say that in fear of not being able to prove that. But there are former biotech scientists that have come out against biotechnology, and when it comes to food, and I'm not talking about medicine or any other application that biotechnology is used in, but going along the lines of it being bad for human health and things of that nature. And I know this is it's a very big subject. Very, there's a lot of like Kyle and I, we didn't see eye to eye on a certain individual that was on the Joe Rogan show named Kevin Folta, attempting to dispel a lot of anti-GMO rhetoric that goes on in the alternative media. And although he did have certain points, I stick by my guns and just reference the power of the lobby that they have, the influence over the FDA, and the senators basically saying that we don't have the right to know if there are genetically modified organisms in the food that we're eating. So I just say, whether or not it's to combat what people like me or anyone else are saying about GMOs, they pour millions to maybe even billions of dollars for these types of measures, paying off politicians, fighting for substantial equivalence and not being able to label it as a separate ingredient than one that would be considered naturally produced or naturally grown or naturally raised. So, I mean, that's my view on that personally, and I just think this is an example of the Dark Act, the influence that biotech companies have over Congress.
Mm-hmm. And it says democracy is at risk. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it most definitely is. I mean, if I believe it was Vermont mandating a GMO labeling law, that threatens the rights of that state to, go with what their citizens want, and it doesn't go against the Constitution. I firmly believe that it doesn't. I mean, if we already have a nutrition label that tells us what's in the food, how could a pro-GMO advocate for GMOs disagree that it should be labeled? If they don't think it's bad, and they think they have such a strong argument, why not have it labeled?
Mm-hmm. All right.
I think an argument can be made that we need to be labeling maybe more than just GMO. Like, I'd like to see information about where your food came from or how it was grown. Was it aquaponic? Was it naturally farmed? Were chemicals used on it? More information is always good.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well, Kyle. Not just GMOs, how it was raised, where it came from, where its origins are from. And even if you look at orange juice, it usually tells you which countries the citrus originated from.
Yeah, I don't want communist oranges.
Yeah, communist, socialist oranges.
It's got a hammer and sickle stamp on the orange.
One thing that the Monsanto campaign actually paid for in their Yes on 37 campaign, and I'm just relating this, is saying that there is an inconsistency. It's like, well, beer doesn't have to label if they're GMO or not. Well, I agree with them in the sense that they should have to label that on beer, and that should be addressed in labeling as well. Maybe
there's a lot of non-GMO beers that I don't know why they don't put that on their label. Yingling is non-GMO, and I think Heineken is non-GMO as well. Why don't they put? I would be putting that on my label if I was them.
Yeah, GMO wheat is an issue too. Did you guys know that Monsanto's GMO corn is banned in Russia? We were just talking about Russia. I mean, after the release of the French study that linked Monsanto's GMO corn with horrifying cancer tumors in rats, Russia has now banned all Monsanto's GMO corn.
All right, I take back what I said about socialists.
Yeah. Yeah, so you want Bernie Sanders in the 2016 race? I mean, let's not skip forward. We were going to talk about the Louisiana Gunman, though. That's what I was kind of looking up right here. Kyle, you and Kort kind of wanted to talk about this shooting in Louisiana. Do you want to get into it?
Yeah, Kort, go ahead. What are the details on this?
Kyle has missed you, Kort, and he just wants to keep hearing you talk.
I can hear your beautiful voice.
Yeah.
So
we got an extremist, right-wing, pro-Nazi, radical John Hauser, who had a history of mental instability, and is the example of what anybody who is anti-establishment is going to go into a theater and shoot random people and kill himself when.
And Kyle, if you didn't know, he was public about it. In the early 90s, he was a regular guest on a local call-in television show where it'd be the conservative Republican pitted against a Democrat to debate issues. The host, Calvin Floyd, said John Russell Hauser had radical opinions that included advocating violence against abortion providers, keeping women out of the workplace, and fearing a military takeover of civilian government. He made a lot of wild accusations, said Floyd, who hosted the show on WLTZ-TV in Columbus for more than 2 decades. He could make the phones ring.
Yeah, it's strange how he
had a dark side. He had a dark side.
500 miles out of his, where he normally lived in, like, what was it, Georgia and Alabama.
Oh, is that part of the facts of the case? He walked 500 miles?
Well, yeah, he wasn't in his local area where he lived. I mean,
500?
500.
What?
So he traveled 500 miles. I mean, he might have just been losing his mind. It said that he lost his, I think it was his liquor license in his previous business. I saw on Communist News Network, which is CNN, a.k.a., this morning that
How dare you?
in protest of his business being shut down or his license being taken away, that he put a Nazi symbol up on the building to protest the government, and that he's an example of what anti-establishment people are like. So there's that association of comparing anyone who has anti-government views to Nazi symbols and racism and mass shootings and instability. And he did buy his gun from a pawn shop legally, and then they're using this to promote more restrictions in those types.
So
of
this guy was like the poster boy for legislation. Like, this guy just did everything that, like...
Yeah, but not gun legislation. But I don't think it's for gun legislation. That's the point I was just about to address, is I don't think it's for gun legislation as much as it's for, like, protecting us from crazy people. But I don't want to see psychologists and psychiatrists be our overlords at the same time either, where they can just say, oh, you have PTSD, or oh, you have anxiety or something, you can't have a gun, because that's BS. We can't have that. But, I mean, somehow we have to identify people with a screw loose like this guy is quoted as having. I mean...
Well, it's one more story. It's, one more, no pun intended, but it's one more bullet they can shoot through our gun rights.
Well, I mean, just last week we covered the Chattanooga shooting. Kyle, you weren't here. It was a pretty good show. Sam was here. This week he's gone, of course, getting married, like we said. And, I don't know, guys. I mean, the mass shootings are stacking up. I just saw a meme this morning. There's been 207 days in America and 207 people killed from mass shootings or something like that. I don't know.
Well,
or homicides from guns or something, but...
I like following Paul Joseph Watson when these type of things come out, and of course he writes for Infowars.com. He wrote a piece called "Liberals Call for Disarming All White Men After Theater Shooting," and this is despite the fact that whites are...
They called for the same thing after the Charleston, South Carolina shooting too, Kyle. I mean, Kort...
But we talked about this, and who are they? Who are they?
Liberal media?
No,
people on Twitter.
Who actually called for, like, disarming white people? Like, who are the people calling for it?
Well, there's certain people he cited, and it's on Twitter, of course. There's certain liberal progressives that, despite the types of views we have, he has Caitlin Hugh, and this isn't just from one person. I've heard similar things.
But if everybody if everybody meant exactly what they said on Twitter, like, Matt Winklejohn would be in jail for a long time.
Well, we have some sort of essence of free speech, but these ones aren't called out. We have Caitlin Hugh, who he quoted and put the picture of. Mass shooters are always lone white males. Solution: prohibit gun sales to lone white men. And of course, it has a sarcastic tone to it. But
don't they also have to have three names like Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, we have to have their middle names. Those crazy white guys.
Somebody comes into your gun store and they're like, "Hi, my name is John Jefferson Filibuster." Like, nope, three namer, can't say again.
It's just like, were they always getting in their trouble, and were they always referred to by their full name, like by their parents? Like, the media's like, "Oh, you got in trouble, you caused a shooting, we have to use your middle name."
Lee Harvey Oswald, you are in trouble.
And somebody hears about it and they're like, "What, Lee Oswald? I never knew his middle name was Harvey." Like,
yeah, right.
I think it's the same
but if
thing.
it's a black guy, it's just his first name. That's it.
Well, I think this just plays into the whole right-wing extremists, or anybody who has anti-government views and are white, are the new terrorists. and this is being sold to people on the liberal side as well. And it also combats the other types of shootings that are done by people of other races. And it's just a sort of a spit back into the face to the people that give people with anti-government views a bad name and during these times. And
well, it's also around 3 years, or is it longer? I think it's like the 3-year anniversary this month of, I believe on July 20th, it was the Batman shooting in Aurora, Colorado. James Holmes, the suspect, and in his trial recently, this past week, the jury said that he is eligible for the death penalty. And my question is, I put out a report, hey, Batman, where's the bullet holes? Is that jury or we the people, the public, going to see any evidence of what occurred inside that theater? Surveillance video, bootleg video? Was anyone shooting bootleg in that theater and we have that video? I mean, can we get the police must have come in with cameras right afterwards. There should be pictures, forensic pictures of bullet hole trajectory, blood, after the massacre. Where's the evidence that there was an actual massacre? I mean, I saw a couple pictures from the outside of the building. I was never satisfied with the results of that case, and it looks like we're just going to put it to rest when we bury this guy after we kill him, execute him.
It is kind of weird when, like, you have the comparison of that guy who walked into, what was it, LAX, and tried to shoot the TSA people, and, like, they showed on the news a picture of that dude with his brain splattered. Huh?
I know, but it looked like a dummy, and everyone had problems with the picture.
But my point is, they at least showed the picture.
Carefully when it comes to these types of things, because there's not really a lot of proof to say that we can say it didn't happen. I mean,
I like to just be a conspiracy theorist and throw out wild accusations, Kort. So I mean, it's good that you're here to help balance me out. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not calling you crazy. I mean, with declassified documents, it's shown that the government's capable of doing these types of things, but there are crazy people out there that will jump the gun and will go out and shoot people. And
what about James Holmes and those mind control experiments? I mean, do you guys believe in mind control at all, or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's flicker fusion technology, which what he was working on. I covered that when the shooting happened, and they implement that through the television screens or the monitors that we look at every day. And very interesting point there, but beyond that.
But I was talking about James Holmes just now, even though the headline is the Louisiana Gunman. But I think what we're trying to do right now, Kort, is sort of like tie it all together in a way to help explain why.
You know what? One thing
happening.
I was searching earlier. Nobody, when James Holmes did the shooting, it was immediately tied to The Dark Knight and Batman. But during this shooting, I haven't seen anywhere shown which movie they were watching, which theater it happened in. Did you guys?
Yeah, I was hesitant to ask, but I was kind of wondering this whole time, like, what movie was it?
Let's see if we can.
Yeah, I've yet to see the media. I mean, because before it was Dark Knight shooting, Batman shooter, and then he dressed up. Of course, it's easier to do that when you dress up like the Joker and all that.
Dude, he didn't dress up like the fucking Joker. First of all, they said he had all kinds of body armor on and was throwing cans of tear gas from multiple angles. Second of all, he was found drooling out in his car like a fucking imbecile. Third of all, the Joker has green hair and laughs a lot. This guy has red hair and spits a lot. They played up the Batman angle because that's where it happened. Lafayette Theater shooter brought gun legally, bought his gun legally. What movie was it?
I could not find what movie they were watching, and I'm not saying that takes away from the situation or what happened, but I'm just curious to know because. I usually like to compare how the media covers things. And
and
to a violent movie like Batman, Dark Knight Returns, it's easier to exploit.
Was it like the Minions movie? It's harder to make a cool story out of that.
Yeah, of course they could say that there were a lot of kids in there if it was a kids movie, or was it a chick flick? Did he get mad because he was sick of seeing Ben
rom-com?
Stiller on the screen, or what? I don't know.
Could have been a rom-com. What's in theaters right now?
Yeah, I don't know. There's no,
Trainwreck.
Trainwreck?
Trainwreck, comedy. About 100 people were. Sorry, I'm yelling. Hold on.
It wasn't Trainwreck. Oh, I don't even know who that is. I've seen the preview. I can't remember though.
Who's in Trainwreck? I think Megan saw that.
Trainwreck. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember right now. Let's see. Trainwreck.
Sorry, guys, I was yelling. I had the ad playing.
Isn't that the Amy Schumer one?
It's a Judd Apatow movie. Yeah, it is an Amy Schumer.
It's the new Judd Apatow, Amy Schumer comedy, Trainwreck.
Aww.
About 100 people were inside the theater for a screening of the comedy Trainwreck, a comedy, when the shooter began firing using a handgun, police said. Gunshots after gunshots.
Judd Apatow's movies have been bad, but I mean, it's still my condolences goes out to anybody affected by this shooting.
Maybe they were just a really bad audience. Like they were yelling shit at the screen and not respecting comedic pauses.
That was terrible, Kyle. That was horrible.
Wow, we are gonna have some haters for that one.
Yeah, can we get some negative comments for Kyle on that one? Oh, Kyle, you're too funny.
So we got the Batman shooting, now the Trainwreck shooting.
but see, it just happened. That movie.
That's not as good of a story, though. You're right.
Comedy, yeah. So the story, if you try to relate, a guy, he didn't like the movie. He wasn't laughing, so he goes on a shooting spree. Come on.
Wait, we had Christian Bale show up during the memorial. Are we going to have Amy Schumer show up during the memorial? That's a good question.
Oh, yeah, not a bad question at all. And that kind of reminds me of the question on Gay Day when the Supreme Court ruled that gay marriage was legal in all 50 states plus Washington, D.C. D.C., the White House lit up in rainbow colors, and we were asking if the White House was going to be lit up red, white, and blue on the 4th of July, and Kort did not see that.
Yeah, I didn't follow up on that, I'll be honest, so I can't
step out and
say. You think that the Conservative Tribune and all that would be posting that right away if they didn't, and I didn't see anything on that. You're drinking kind of early there, DLAKE, aren't you?
DLAKE, if you want to talk about this.
Hashtag alcoholism.
Kort, just so you know, I'm in control of the cameraman, so no one's actually seeing that, but thanks for pointing it out.
Do you hide beers when we're drinking beers? Do you hide them on the cameraman?
When I'm drinking beer, do I hide that from happening?
Yeah.
He's pulling a Ron Burgundy, bro. Like in between
to.
commercial breaks, he's just chugging like a...
Every now and then you'll see me talking, and you'll kind of see like this.
You'll see it like from the corner, like just going down. Like I'll be like, yeah, and I'd like to say.
I'll be like, oh yeah, is it time for entertainment news? We don't have Sam DiGangi here on the show today because, of course, today, guys, he's getting married.
Woo!
Congrats.
Congratulations to our correspondent of the Correct Views and the Band Passing Time, Sam I.B. DiGangi, the Greetings Unsettled Souls guy. That most people watch the show for him. He's not here today. That's probably why we have no viewers. But all our viewers are at Sam's wedding, but we couldn't be there. I mean, guys, let's just point out that we do this show live every Saturday, and we are all in remote locations from one another across the United States.
Yeah, remember, I actually am in Kenya today, so don't misinform people.
Well, so, in other words, you're just trying to say that we're global in our news coverage.
Yeah, we will be once I start trucking. We'll be at least national. I'll be in other states.
I like those African beads behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's how they decorate their hotels here. So it makes
those are blinds. Those are blinds that you're looking at.
Oh, are those mini blinds?
I think that they're blinds, like where you like twist the stick and they go like sideways.
Everyone, leave your comment for what's going on there in Kenya.
It's actually night in Kenya right now, so that's why you see the dark behind the blinds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly correct.
It's like, what color is that dress?
Gonna go viral.
Guys, I have to rescue a kitten. Go ahead. Can you take us into entertainment, Kyle, please?
Yeah, DLAKE's rescuing the kitten. Can we get a live feed on that? Live feed on rescuing the kitten. I need to be able to see it. We actually just getting into entertainment. We just rescued a kitten like 2 days ago. I was at work, and at like 1 a.m., Megan calls me, and she's like, "There's a kitten underneath our porch." And so I'm like, I don't know, like maybe try and trap it. So she like dug a hole underneath the porch and put like our dog carrier with some food in there. She caught this kitten. We've been trying to find like who it belongs to, and we found this person who like found it like a week ago but doesn't really want it, and like we don't know what's going on. So it's pretty much ours. We inherited a cat that we found under our porch. So I have a kitten now too, and I was just thinking about it, D-Like. We've been doing this show for what, like at least like 2-3 years?
Mm-hmm.
And you always have kittens. Like, those kittens surely would have grown up like 5 times. Like, do you just have a constant flow of like pregnant cats? Oh, dude, that looks like ours.
Yeah.
That looks just like our kitten.
I think D-Lake left that on your porch, Kyle.
Yeah. I was there. I'm in town for Sam's wedding.
We found, I don't know if you heard, we found a kitten under our porch.
Yeah, no, I saw the posts.
Oh, yeah. So, where are you getting all these kittens? How many cats? Like, by now, with the amount of kittens I've seen over the years, there have to be at least, like, 20 cats. Are you a cat breeder?
Hey, should I bring up Sam's science front today?
Wait, he did a science front?
Of how many cats must
Well,
be?
he didn't do a science front, but I could talk about.
I have a lot of cats to answer your question. Thank you.
NASA finds Earth's bigger, older cousin. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah. The planet that's like 1.5 times as big.
Kepler 452b. And it's about 1,400 light years away from Earth in the constellation of Cygnus. And I'm reading this from Communist News Network. I know it's not the best news source, but
Get down on the Cygnus.
Yeah, on the Cygnus. Cygnus. Yeah, very funny, Kyle. Just kidding. So it's about 60% bigger than Earth, and it's located in the star's habitable zone. And so, how long would that take us to get there, Kyle? 1,400.
If we could travel at the speed of light, 1,400 years, right? So half the speed of light.
That's how that works, right? So because if you travel the light for 1,400 years, that's how long it would take to get there. So
yeah,
we need to work on creating a portal into a different dimension and density to get there, Kyle. So
or
go ahead
do
and get
some
on that.
Battlestar Galactica shit, where it's just like it's gonna take a really long time, but we have a goal in mind at the end.
I don't know how they could figure this out, but they said that I guess it could be habitable, but the gravity would be twice that of Earth's in comparisons. So, I mean, just imagine what that would be like.
You get used to it. Think about it. Like, fat people walk. You get used to it after a few months.
There'd be a whole different, there'd be different mechanics there. I mean, a lot,
Yeah. Could have planes, probably.
So if you drop a rock, it would hit the ground faster, in essence? I don't know if that's true or not.
I think so. I think it would hit, like, twice as hard then.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
After a few generations, though, those people would become, like, superhuman.
And it says, actually, the star is brighter. I think it's a different kind of star compared to our sun. I think a bit older than ours. And they say they're certain it has an atmosphere, and they can't tell what it's made out of, though. So, but the assumptions, geologists, if the geologists are correct, its atmosphere would probably be thicker than Earth's, and it would have active volcanoes, just like Earth.
It's like dinosaur Earth.
It very well could be. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how human beings or dinosaurs, any type of beings, would develop on a planet bigger than us and also with heavier gravity. I don't know how that would play. Of course, it would have to have some sort of oxygen or some type of gas that they could breathe to survive. And very close to the orbit of the Earth. It takes 385 days approximately to circle its star compared to our 365 days.
Okay, guys, I found the article that I was looking for since we're in the science news here. Credit to Sam. If
Oh yeah, I think I saw
Turn
it.
the sound off. Did you guys hear about real superhumans and their DNA could be worth billions? Drug companies are exploiting rare mutations that make one person nearly immune to pain, another to broken bones. The reason that I bring it up...
Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine, Colossus. I brought it up because it's like the X-Men. But the guy that has the severe bone density, like he actually is kind of like a scientist and engineer himself, but he went deaf because his skull was just getting so thick. The one guy that couldn't feel pain when he was a kid, he almost bit his own tongue off. But to these genetics and DNA drug companies, these guys are like like Wolverine and Colossus. They're like X-Men mutations because they can take a guy has super duper mutated bone density. Kyle, this guy could get into a car accident and walk away from it without any broken bones, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, he's like Bruce Willis, right?
Yeah, and unbreakable, exactly. And but the reason that it ties into what you guys were just saying about going into space, NASA immediately contacted one of the pharmaceutical companies when they started making because your bones get weaker when you're in space, right, Kyle? And
Yeah.
The way they reverse engineer this guy's bone density mutated DNA is to make it so that people with like osteoporosis or NASA astronauts that are going to go into space, we can maintain their bone density. So how awesome is that?
Do you think in the future people will like dope? They'll like dope for shit like that, like how people take steroids now? Like, dude.
Oh god.
Taking that
Scientist isn't William Stryker, is it?
Yeah. Kyle,
Bro, I got the thickest bones.
Did you see the guy with like the biggest biceps, but he was injecting himself with like Synthol or something, like a crazy drug that makes your muscles all huge, but then his like muscles were turning into rocks. So that guy's like more like the Thing than the Hulk. I mean, he's got all these rocks in him.
Gotta get those fuckers removed. That's gross. That's the problem with fucking around with your DNA.
Mutants are humans too, right?
What about entertainment, Kyle? Have you seen anything good recently, Kyle? You usually have good suggestions.
I saw Terminator. That was a while ago. Talked to this dude about Snowpiercer the other day at the bar. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. Did you see Ant-Man?
Loved it, but I fell asleep.
You started watching it on bootleg and fell asleep?
Yeah, I fell asleep during it.
Okay, that's not a very good recommendation.
It.
Yeah, I might try to watch it.
Tired, though. I'm not gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I'll wait till it comes out on DVD.
Yeah, I haven't really watched that much. I've been watching a lot of Frasier. Kevin Smith has a new podcast with this guy, I think his name's like Mike Myra, called Talk Salad and Scrambled Eggs.
Mm-hmm.
They do like audio commentary to every episode of Frasier.
Okay.
I think that I'm pretty stoked about the Ash versus Evil Dead thing coming out, the series coming out on Starz. I don't know if you guys were a big
Wait.
Darkness fans.
I heard something about that.
Wait, it's going to be a series on Starz? I thought it was going to be a full feature movie.
No, I think it's going to be a series actually on Starz.
Oh, but is it going to star? Is it going to star the main guy?
Yeah, Bruce Campbell's back in it.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell. Yeah.
I saw the trailer and it looks pretty awesome. I'll be honest. I'm pretty.
Wait,
stoked
so
on
what's the show going to be called?
Ash versus Evil Dead, because his character's name is Ash in it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's
growing up.
chainsaw arm and boomstick and all, man. It's all coming back.
I got a feeling that's going to be bad, but I'll watch it.
Yeah, it looks awesome. We'll watch the preview. I think it's going to be sweet.
I'll have to, because I love those movies growing up. I had them all on VHS.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic. I first saw that. I thought it was going to be a scary movie, and I started watching it. I was like, this is actually pretty funny.
They're just weird. And that dude went on to make like a ton of other movies, didn't he? The director of those? What's his name?
I can't remember the director's name, but I know Bruce Campbell, of course, he's sort of a B film kind of star, sort of like an underground kind of star. He didn't really appear in too many like blockbuster hits. I mean, he was like Bubba. He played Elvis in the Bubba.
Wasn't it Sam Raimi who did Spider-Man? Because Bruce Campbell was in Spider-Man.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell is in all the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, because I think Sam Raimi did Evil Dead.
Yeah, and that's probably, he's in a few blockbuster hits like that. But
Wait, they did a remake or something.
if you remember that show, Xena Warrior Princess, he was one of the antagonists of that. Remember that?
Sam Raimi.
That's a '90s throwback. I actually think Lucy Lawless is going to be in Ash vs. Evil Dead as well.
Was it Sam Raimi?
Yeah, I believe it was Sam Raimi.
But yeah, like Bruce Campbell, he's in a ton of shit. Like I have quite a few. Yeah, it's like him and Jeremy Sisto. Those two dudes are like the king of like B movies. Like they never quite get on the big screen, but they're in a ton of straight to DVD and like VOD shit.
Oh, I watched Black or White with Kevin Costner, our favorite actor. Kyle.
Yeah. Black and White?
Black or White. Because he's a grandfather and his wife dies suddenly, like in a car accident. And they were raising their multiracial black and white granddaughter because their daughter, the mother, died in childbirth that she had
Kevin
with this.
Costner's entire family is dead except for a black girl.
Yeah, little half black girl. But the black family thinks that they could take better care of her. The black grandma does, but the black son is like a fuck up crackhead. And so, but Kevin Costner is always great in everything he does, and he actually makes the movie better than, it could have been worse, definitely, but it was actually pretty good.
If like Bill Paxton was in it, it would have sucked balls.
Yeah, it would have been just terrible. Michael Biehn, no one can hold a candle to Kevin Costner. I mean, come on.
Hey, Michael Biehn can.
Michael Biehn is supposed to be returning for Alien 5, and so is Sigourney Weaver. I don't know how the hell they're going to manage that because they've already killed Sigourney Weaver's character like once or twice.
I heard they were just going to pretend that the sequels to Aliens didn't even exist.
Well, Michael Biehn had a pretty serious stroke too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Wait, aren't you a fan of his son on talk radio or something like that?
Yeah. His son works for Adam Carolla, Kalen Bean. I'm a big fan of him.
What's up with that Adam Carolla wine?
Mangria? It's pretty good. I don't drink it anymore. I don't really listen to Adam Carolla anymore because he fired Allison Rosen.
Oh yeah, I remember you did a whole thing about that. Got a lot of hits.
Yeah. He has a new one out though. I'm tempted to try it. It's called the Brose. I'm gonna try it. I don't know.
Trying to think of what else good I've seen recently, but I just finally, the past couple weeks, I've been operating in my office on that computer. I got a new monitor. I got an HP 25-inch monitor. It's pretty sick.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
BoJack Horseman. Have you watched BoJack Horseman?
I've watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes. Like,
dude, the new season is so much better.
Oh, they have a second season?
Second season just came out, and like it's the first time that like one of these like Netflix shows has really taken advantage of the fact that like they can do whatever the fuck they want. So like there's just like a lot of crude like language and shit in like a way that you wouldn't see in other TV shows. Like there's a lot of shit like somebody will say like like suck a dick. Like people say suck a dick, but like on TV people never say stuff like that. So like they're really taking advantage of like the free like too far.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you want to talk about sucking? The D-Generation X always said suck it. You wanted to talk about that. You guys hear about Hulk Hogan in the news?
Yeah, what happened? All I saw is that like WWE took all of this shit off the website.
Yeah, well, I guess a rant he went on, a racist rant using the N-word multiple times, came out, and they completely cut ties with Hulk Hogan.
Because Booker T called him the N-word on a WWE rant, and he was just telling the story of how that happened a long time ago.
Oh, that's all it was?
Yeah, well, actually, to quote a couple,
he was retelling the story and quoting a black guy saying the N-word, but they attacked him like he's saying like you N-word.
Well, you're allowed to do that.
The N-word is nigger, I think. Like, I always get confused, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
But if you're telling a story, so he was like, and then, I don't know.
And then he said the N-word. No. Yeah, but you have to say the N-word. You can't say the actual word on the media.
Some of the stuff, though, I mean, it seemed like he was trying to have a candid conversation, but to quote some of it here, one of the things he said is, I mean, I don't have double standards. I mean, I'm a racist to a point. He said effing N-words. But then when when it comes to nice people and shit, whatever. And then he says it a couple times. He says, I don't know if Brooke was effing the black guy's son, Hulk Ray. I guess it was in regards to Hogan Knows Best. And how a black millionaire guy had offered to fund her music career or something.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter?
Yeah.
That nigga.
Yeah. So, I guess they're... I'm just reading the article here.
What if, like, whenever Hulk Hogan is, like, behind closed doors and the cameras come off, he replaces the word brother with nigger? What if that...
Listen here, brother. I mean,
You know that's what they're... Kyle, you know that video is, like, either out already or somebody hears it right now, and it's going to be out, like, today.
All right, well, we thought of it here first, so just remember that.
Well, if you just add the beeps, like, let me tell you something, beeper.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's the way to do it. Oh, I gotta do that today. I might have to do that.
Kyle, get out of here.
A viral video right now.
Hey, how do you guys like this one on my screen share? Marvel has been around long enough that at one time solid dick was slang for straight talk. Still, Iron Man says to Captain America, still brooding, eh? Maybe what you need is some solid dick from an Iron Man. Cap replies, maybe I do, Shellhead. Maybe I do, Shellhead.
That would put me in a gay mood. Like when...
Oh, man.
People didn't find that hilarious, then?
I grew up on comics, yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe I am a little gay for it.
Come on, give me the solid dick, DLAKE.
Just give me the solid dick from an Iron.
Wait, solid dick meant like straight talk. So it'd be like, give me the
Yeah, it meant straight talk, the Iron Man.
Solid
That's
dick.
very hard to believe that solid dick made straight talk.
I'm looking that up.
Can we get any former presidential candidates on film, like Richard Nixon, the dick himself, saying, I'm going to give you the solid dick right now.
We need to find that tape immediately and edit that into Kyle's Hulk Hogan.
I could see his campaign sign. It would say, solid dick. I forgot what year he was president. It was like 60. I can't remember right now.
Anthony, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
When you get in there with the Hulk, the Hulkster,
all you get is a solid dick, brother.
You'll get some solid dick, nigger.
Where does this, like, because all sayings, like, come from somewhere, you know? And, like, the only place I could think of solid dick coming from is, like, come on, dude, give it to me with no lube. Like, that's what it pretty much means. Just give me that.
Just give me
that solid dick.
That's straight solid dick.
Just lay the pipe. Lay the pipe for real, okay?
Yeah.
Prison origin.
Lay the pipe on me hard, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Why don't you just lay some pipe on me, brother?
Oh man.
Guys, yeah. Obviously, what we normally do here, we segue into our final segment, which is the entertainment section, and then where we've reached a point where we've completely degraded the show to utter nonsense such as this, and just everything is fucking hilarious and a bunch of bad words and stuff. That's pretty much where we like to end it. Kyle, please let everyone know where they can find us.
You can find me at The Correct Views on YouTube as well as AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh, you have a visitor. Oh, the kitty.
Thank you.
You
can find me The Correct Views on Tumblr.
Hold that cat up. I'll tell you how old it is.
Can you? Really?
Yeah. Go to your screen. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're looking at about 2.5 to 3 months. It looks like it was probably and you found it just this past week, right?
Yeah, we found him coming up on a week ago.
Well, he's a survivor, and obviously he was weaned rather recently, you know, from breastfeeding. What are you feeding it?
Just kitty food.
Okay, good job.
Kitty kibble.
He likes the cat whisperer.
I got him some toys.
Hello, kitty.
Got him some toys. Got him a litter box. He purrs a lot.
There you go.
I'm gonna try and get him on a purr storm and then mic him.
Does the dog get along with him?
No, the dogs are weirded out. The one dog is kind of like whatever. That thing's there and just kind of avoids it. The other one like kind of gets jealous and weird around it. And like if it like, cause cats like to like paw at you, and if he like paws at me or Megan, like the dog will be like, knock it off, like freaks out on him, like don't be attacking them. Doesn't understand that that's how kittens play.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to make some viral YouTube videos from that, dog and cat. People love that stuff.
They do. So fuzzy.
They love dogs, cats, Hulk Hogan, and the N-word.
So what's your handle on AOL Instant Messenger, Kyle?
Correct views 69. Correct views 69. Correct views was already taken.
X correct X views XX.
Yeah, capital X, lowercase x, correct views, lowercase x, capital X.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, my icon is the CV.
Yeah, and you can find me on YouTube at David Lake. If you just search David Lake, I'm the guy with Captain America's shield as an icon. You can find me at the Correct View 6969 because Correct View 69 was already taken at AOL Instant Messenger and also on Hotmail. Still have that. If you don't find me there, you're doing something wrong with the internet. But if you can figure the internet out, get your router back on, everything's working, check me out at the Correct Views on MySpace.com.
Wait. Which AOL Arts and Entertainment chat room are you normally in?
I hang out personally under XX Correct Views XX in the Canton, Ohio room. The Canton, Ohio chat room.
Oh, man, you guys are too local. Well, I like to keep it local, but I kind of like to spread it out a little bit. I'm sort of like, SoCal.
Misconnections? What about misconnections?
Where you'll find Sam every single day, because that's where he is every single day.
Yeah. If you're ever in Cedar Park or whatever, the amusement park, go to what's the hotel called? Go to the Sam Hotel.
Cedar Point.
Cedar Point. What's the hotel?
I don't
remember.
Go to the. I know this one. Pop quiz hotshot. Anyways, I'm Kitty.
Go to cats.com.
Go to us. We just want to say, Sam, congratulations on getting married, and we hope you have a bunch of little pussies. This is actually a boy.
Some solid dick. Ours is a boy too.
Get some solid dick. His name is Grayson.
All right. On a serious note, for once, towards the end of the show here, I just want to say thanks for having me on, guys. You can find me for real at Constant Injustice on YouTube. Not any recent videos there, or the MediaSpeaks.com, or the Media Speaks on Facebook. Anthony Kort on Facebook. Or in the AOL Arts and Entertainment newsroom, chat room. My handle there is XXOX Kort, KORT report XOXXXX 69.
69.